Hello everyone, I am Arami Solano, your reporter about Chapter 8 Proposals slash Guidelines for Informal Proposal. Every one of us relies on persuasion. Usually we apply our persuasive strategies in less formal situations. For example, in asking for an extension and a paper deadline, gaining approval to use a sales coupon after its void date, convincing a friend to choose one vacation destination over another, or selling retail products on commission. When persuasion is applied to business situations, it often results in a written document called a proposal, and you may write many of them in your career. So, what is proposal? Proposals are defined as a document written to convince your readers to adopt an idea, a product, or a service. They can be directed to colleagues inside your own organization or in house proposals, to clients outside your organization or sales proposals, or to organizations that fund research and other activities, or grant proposals. In all three cases, proposals can be presented in either a short, simple format or informal proposal, or a longer, more complicated format or formal proposal. Also, proposals can be either requested by the reader or solicited or submitted without a request or unsolicited. Like informal reports, informal proposals are short documents that cover projects with a limited scope. Following are some guidelines to help you decide when to use informal proposals. Use informal proposals when the text of the proposal or excluding attachments is no more than 5 pages. The size of the proposed project is such that a long formal proposal appears to be inappropriate. And lastly, the client has expressed a preference for a leaner and less formal document. Request for Proposal or RFP. A document sometimes sent out by organizations that want to receive proposals for a product or a service. The RFP gives guidelines on first, what the proposal should cover, second, when it should be submitted, and lastly, to whom it should be sent. As writer, you should follow the RFP religiously in planning and drafting your proposal. RFPs generally are used when an organization wants to receive multiple approaches to address a problem, wants the best price for a well-defined scope of work, is required to solicit bids for projects, and provides grants or fellowships for research or community projects. If you are responding to an RFP, it is key to your understanding the needs of the readers to whom you will send your proposal. You must read RFPs very carefully to understand the main concerns and interests of your readers, as well as the requirements for proposals. You should precisely follow the content and formatting guidelines outlined in the RFP, as proposals that do not follow the guidelines are usually rejected immediately. So next, here is the flowchart showing the main documents involved in an external solicited proposal process. Firstly is the RFP sent by real estate developer to a number of construction design firms. This request for proposal, or the RFP, that gives details about the kind of building the developers want built. Next is proposal that's sent by interested construction design firms to the developer in response to the RFP. Contract that agreed on by construction design firm and developer. Next is project, and lastly, the report. It is written by construction design firm at completion of project and sent to client real estate develop. Okay, next we were moving on to the guidelines for informal proposals. This section provides writing guidelines and an annotated model for informal proposals, which have two formats. One is memos for in-house proposals, and two is the letters for external proposals. With some variations, these guidelines are similar to those suggested in Chapter 7 for informal reports. The formats are much the same, although the content and tone are different. We have informal proposal guideline number 1, that plan well before you write. Complete the planning form at the end of the book for all proposal assignments. Carefully consider your purpose, audience, and organizations. And it has two factors that make this task especially difficult in sales proposal writing. One, you may know nothing more about the client than what is written on the RFP. Two, proposals often are on a tight schedule, which limits your planning time. Nevertheless, try to find out exactly who will be making the decision about your proposal. Many clients will tell you if you give them a call. In fact, they may be pleased that you care enough about the project to target the audience. Once you identify the decision makers, spend time brainstorming about their needs before you begin writing. Next of informal proposal guideline number 2, use letter or memo format. The letter proposals usually follow the format of routine business letters. This casual style gives readers the immediate impression that your document will be approachable, that is, easy to get through and limited in scope. Following are a few highlights. Line spacing is usually single, but it may be one and a half or double, depending on the reader's or company's preference. The recipient's name, date, and page number appear on sheets after the first, and most readers prefer an uneven or ragged edge right margin as opposed to an even or full justified margin. Your subject line and a memo proposal gives readers the first impression of the proposal's purpose, so you need to choose concise yet accurate wording. Next, informal proposal guideline number 3. Make text visually appealing. The page design of informal proposals must draw readers into the document. Remember, you are trying to sell a product, a service, or an idea. Also, remember that your proposal may be competing with others. Put yourself in the place of the reader who is wondering which one to pick up first. How the text looks on the page can make a big difference. So it has following. So I have here an example of memo proposal. In the first arrow, it gives concise view of problem and his proposed solution. Second arrow includes effective lead in. Third arrow uses bulleted list to highlight main difficulties posed by current situation. Next arrow ends section with good transition to next section. And last arrow that starts with main point need for logo. Informal proposal guideline number 4. Use the ABC format for organization. The ABC format used throughout this book also applies to informal proposals. Note that beginning and end sections should be easy to read and stress just a few points. They provide a short buffer on both ends of the longer and more technical body section in the middle. The next four guidelines give more specific advice for writing the main parts of an informal proposal. So here is the ABC format for informal proposal. A. Abstract that gives big picture for those who make decisions. Usually includes a statement of the problem or other information that will entice the audience to read further. B. Body that gives details about exactly what you are proposing to do. And C. Conclusion drives home the main benefit and makes clear the next step. Informal proposal guideline number 5. Create the abstract as an introductory summary. In an abstract, you capture the client's attention with a capsule summary of the entire proposal. This is especially important in unsolicited proposals. This one or two paragraph starting section permits space only for what the reader really must know at the outset, such as the following: purpose of proposal, reader's main need, main features you offer, as well as related benefits, and overview of proposal sections to follow. Keep this overview very brief. Answer the one question readers are thinking: why should I accept this proposal? Informal proposal guideline number 6. Put important details in the body. The discussion of your proposal should address these basic questions. First, what problems are you trying to solve and why? Second, what are the technical details of your approach? Third, who will do the work and with what? Fourth, when will it be done? And 5, how much will it cost? Discussion formats vary from proposal to proposal, but here are some sections commonly used to respond to these questions. First, description of problem or project and its significance. Give a precise technical description along with any assumptions you have made on the basis of previous contact with the reader. Explain the importance or significance of the problem to the reader of the proposal. Second, propose solution or approach. Describe specific tasks you propose in a manner that is clear and well organized. If you are presenting several options, discuss each one separately, making it easy for the reader to compare and contrast information. Third, personnel. If the proposal involves people performing tasks, it may be appropriate to explain qualifications of participants. Fourth, schedule. Even the simplest proposals require some information about the schedule for delivering goods, performing tasks, and so forth. Be both clear and realistic in this portion of the proposal. Use graphics when appropriate. And 5. Costs. Place complete cost information in the body of the proposal unless you have a table that would be more appropriately placed in an attachment. Above all, do not bury dollar figures in paragraph format. Instead, highlight figures with intended or bulleted lists. Because your reader will be looking for cost data, make that information easy to find. Finally, be certain to include all costs, materials, equipment, personnel, salaries, and so forth. Formal proposal guideline number 7. Use a problem or solution organization. As any good salesperson knows, customers must feel that they need your product, service, or idea before they can be convinced to purchase or support it. Lay the groundwork for acceptance by first showing the readers that a strong need exists. Establishing need is most crucial in unsolicited proposals, of course, when readers may not be psychologically prepared to accept a change that costs money. Even in the proposals that had been solicited, however, you should give some attention to restating the basic needs of the readers. You should show your readers your understanding of the problem, and you should emphasize the connection between the problem and your proposed solution. Informal proposal guideline number 8. Focus attention in your conclusion. Cold conclusion or closing. This section gives you the opportunity to control the reader's last impression. It also helps avoid the awkwardness of ending proposals with the costs. In this closing section, you can emphasize a main benefit or feature of your proposal, restate your interest in doing the work, and indicate what should happen next. Regarding the last point, sometimes you may ask readers to call if they have questions. In other situations, however, it is appropriate to say that you will follow up the proposals with a phone call. This approach leaves you in control of the next step. Informal proposal guideline number 9. Use attachments for less important details. The text in formal proposals is usually less than 5 pages, so you may have to place supporting data or illustrations in attachments that follow the conclusion. Cost and schedule information in particular is best placed at the end in well-labeled sections. Make sure the proposal text includes clear references to all visuals. If you have more than one attachment, give each one a letter and a title. For example, attachment a project costs. If you have only one attachment, include the title but not letter. For example, attachment resumes. And lastly, informal proposal guideline number 10. Edit carefully. Build in enough time for a series of editing passes, preferably by different readers. There are two reasons why proposals of all kinds deserve this special attention. First, they can be considered contracts in a court of law. If you make editing mistakes that alter meaning, such as incorrect price figure, you could be bound to the error. And second, proposals often present readers with their first impression of you. If the document is sloppy, they can make assumptions about your professional abilities as well.